Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John.
Welcome to the Teachers Retirement System of the City of New York regular board meeting for February 15th, 2018. Patricia, would you please call the roll?
Oh. John Adams.
I am here.
David Kazansky.
Present.
Deborah Penny. Here. Thomas Brown.
Here.
Susanna Vickers. Here. Raymond Orlando.
Present.
We do have a quorum.
Excellent. Okay, Patricia, take us away.
Okay, so the first item on the agenda is an update on TRS operations, and Kavita Kanwar is going to give that to us.
Okay. TRS's member education team has kicked off its outreach efforts for 2018. On Feb 3rd, the team represented TRS at the annual convention of New York City Elementary School Principals Association. On March 3rd, they will attend the Middle School Principals Association conference. And on March 10th, they will make presentation at the UFT's annual Paraprofessional Festival. Next week, during the school's winter break, the team will also host 5 educational programs here at our new expanded member education center.
Thank you, Kavita. Next is the Executive Director's report, and we have a resolution on the divestment and exclusion strategy for fossil fuel reserve owners. Whereas,
Please skip to the resolve.
resolved that the board will initiate a process for determining a prudent strategy that responsibly reduces our portfolio's exposure to carbon risk in general and specifically to fossil fuel reserve owners, securities, and mitigates financial risk resulting from climate change consistent with our fiduciary duty, and be it further resolved that in order to protect the long-term interests of our beneficiaries and determine the most efficacious way to safeguard our portfolio from the economic risks of climate change, the board will utilize an investment consultant to review potential prudent steps to divest and exclude from our portfolio the securities issued by fossil fuel reserve owners, including evaluating the anticipated impacts on the risk and return characteristics of the portfolio. And then, following this divestment analysis, the board will determine whether any divestment plan and actions that may be implemented are consistent with the board's fiduciary duty to beneficiaries.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
So,
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Very well. All in favor of the motion to approve the resolution regarding divestment and exclusion strategy for fossil fuel reserve owners, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
so next I'll just go to the calendar.
The next meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, okay. Then, and then next on the executive director's report is the next meeting, and it's been suggested that the next regular meeting of the Teachers Retirement Board be held on the third Thursday of the month, March 15th, 2018. Since we're waiting for the...
No, he's here.
Oh, is Sam here?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see him.
I'm sorry, I had trouble clearing security, but
Yeah.
I am here. I'd like, if it's my turn, I'd like to...
It is.
Thank you. I'd like to turn the board's attention to a memorandum that was sent by the Chief Actuary to the Retirement Board on February 8th. And essentially, this is a fiscal note that is extending the interest rate on Tier 1 and Tier 2 member contributions for another fiscal year, that's 8.25%, as well as extending the actual evaluation rate, which is currently 7%. It's extending it one additional fiscal year as well. And it's also noted that that additional extension of those interest rates will not increase any of the employer contributions that will be due. Shirley also wanted me to point out that in terms of the fiscal note process, the OA has streamlined it because we've actually, on our website, we now have a form that members can actually, or individuals who are interested in applying for a fiscal note, they can fill out the form. It gives very detailed information on what's needed to expedite the process. And once they fill out the form, there's an email address that once they send it back into the email address, it actually goes to the individuals who will be working on the fiscal note. So It really does speed up the process, as well as the valuation division has come up with a methodology where the valuation report that's used for the fiscal note is calculated at an earlier point in time so that the fiscal note can actually be submitted and actually created maybe a month or two in advance. So the bottom line is the whole process become more efficient, and hopefully the members will take advantage of that.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Any questions for Sam?
Okay, next on the agenda is the calendar, and it's the matter of the approval of the minutes. So we need to lay over the June 21st, 2017 TRS minutes because we haven't received them as of yet. But the matter of the approval of the November 15th, 2017 TRS minutes, the December 7th, 2017 TRS investment meeting minutes, the December 11th TRS minutes, December 21st TRS regular board meeting minutes, the January 25th TRS minutes, and the January 18th, 2018 TRS board meeting. So
question, I had sent in some changes to some of these minutes.
were they sim?
Yeah.
Or?
They were just minor changes.
Right.
I would have to do them manually. They will do them over at the
At the transcriptions? Okay. So,
and one of the minutes that she sent, it was just one word. It was
Okay.
just minor,
There
very
were minor changes,
stuff.
right.
So you made the update?
I did the updates, but I didn't send them out.
okay, so
I manually
can we
did
do
them
this? Can we approve these minutes with the minor changes, just, noting that they don't, they're not substantive, they're just like grammatical and typos and things like that? Okay? So, I think we can do them all at once.
I would just say, we do have to clarify this with the transcription service. The minutes are certified by the court reporter.
Right.
So for Liz to change, we would just need to clarify with the transcription
So I
service.
think
And
other
you should have
systems-
And I
the
can-
ability to proofread.
I can volunteer
transcripts.
Arlene from my office to do that because she's in direct contact with the various services and they might have different ways of dealing with it. And so we'll double check Liz.
Yeah, I think it nicer if they
Later.
said they were gonna send them back to the transcription service to make the corrections.
And that is the appropriate process. And in this case, it sounds like they're not substantive
No, they're
or
not.
minor word
Right.
changes.
Right.
But because the minutes are certified by the court reporter, for us to modify them.
Okay, so what do you
It's
suggest we
problematic.
do in this case?
What Susanna suggested, and in this case, you could adopt the minutes with the changes.
Okay.
We
Going
do
forward.
clarify going
But
forward.
was that true for the board minutes or just the sim minutes?
Well, I would assume that since it's the same companies, that it would be the same process regardless of what type of meeting it is. So I'll ask Arlene to check in with the companies that send the stenographers.
So should we, for sim minutes, we should send back to the controller for them to have corrected, and for our board meetings, we would contact
Yes,
the company to correct our minutes?
yes.
So when trustees review the minutes, which I now have a regular procedure in my office for reviewing them, what should we do with those? Like what we do is we basically do a track changes thing and then we send that along. So how should we do that? Should we send them still back to
Can I?
Liz?
They
why
are
don't
on
I-
minutes.
Yeah.
Right, but before we answer that, should I check with the transcription services how they'd like to receive the changes? They probably don't want track changes to their document.
Okay, sure. Ask them how they want us to make the changes.
No, we can call on Jeff.
Jeff doesn't know. He's just doing his job.
But any changes you want made to either the sim minutes or our minutes should come here to TRS.
Okay.
And TRS should send the sim minute changes back over to the controller, and we'll handle the board minutes.
Right, we just have to identify what form those should be in. Whether it's
Right.
track changes or.
Right.
I'm gonna do them track changes.
Annual.
Someone else wants to, because I'm not.
Well, If it's not helpful to
But
do
then-
in track changes, then.
Well, no, in other words, if someone here wants to take our track changes and make a manual change, just like
But
for my
maybe we can
staff.
talk about this offline.
Okay.
I didn't take all of this.
Okay, that's fine, but we're on camera, so away we go.
All right.
So
That's the best part.
can we just do one motion for all these minutes?
Yes.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve the minutes, and I'll read the dates, as, amended with these minor corrections for November 15th, for the November 15, 2017 TRS SIM, the December 7th, 2017 TRS investment meeting, the December 11th TRS SIM, the December 21st TRS regular board meeting, the January 25th TRS SIM, and the January 18th 2018 TRS board meeting. That was a question. Is there a
So
motion?
moved.
Second.
There's a long run on
Yeah.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. The minutes are approved.
Next on the agenda is a presentation.
Wait, don't we have to do the calendar?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
All right. So you all have received a copy of the calendar, and
Please waive the reading of the calendar.
thank you.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the calendar?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to approve the calendar, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries.
Okay, so next is a presentation from TRS. We have Robert Bartholomew, the Director of our Member Services Center, and Matt Laskowski, who's our Deputy Director of Communications. And the presentation is TRS Communication Strategy.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, guys.
As Patricia said, the presentation this afternoon is on the TRS communication strategy and how the strategy is evolving as we continue with our modernization effort. So I'll just start off with a little overview. As you all know, we are in the midst of our modernization project, and while we are updating our computer systems, we're also taking the opportunity to look at our business processes and the communications that support them. And in doing so, we're focusing on our members and trying to anticipate their needs and meet their needs. And in doing so, we are looking at our communication strategy, and it's evolving as we continue with the modernization project. So today's goal, Matt and I, we're going to outline the vision for TRS communications and how our members experience with TRS in the future when at the completion of our project. So, what's the future state at TRS? Vision 2020 and beyond, as we say. At the completion of our project, members can do nearly all of their business on our expanded secure website. Members will be can also see on our secure website all of their communications and correspondence from TRS. They'll also be able to see and access current status of open inquiries that they have with TRS. In the future, at the end of our project, TRS is going to be less reliant on mail. We'll send emails and text alerts to members when they have information to view online. At that point, members can then log into our their secure member portal on our website and see all the communications in an inbox, which will include statements, letters, newsletters. All will be available there in their inbox for them to view and download. Self-service through the website would be the preferred way for doing business with TRS. And at that point, staff will be spending less time on routine processing and more on the complicated cases or exception situations. So to help us reach this future state, our TRS communications approach is changing, and it needs to change. So I'm going to pass it on to Matt right now. Matt is going to talk about a few of the steps that we're doing to achieve the future state that we want.
So I'm going to talk about a few actions, as Robert mentioned, that we're beginning and that are already underway to help us achieve the future state. As Robert pointed out, in the future, the website is going to be the preferred and go-to resource for members to get information from TRS. So we need to adapt the communications to that online viewing kind of approach. Obviously, looking at a computer screen or looking at your phone and absorbing information from there is a lot different than leafing through the printed page. Our attention spans are a lot shorter when we're looking online. So we've really got to, the challenge for the communications team is to make sure that the most important information that we want to get across is prioritized, that our calls to action for our members are clear, and if they have choices to make, that these are clear and upfront. And we want to use the most user-friendly language so that members will be able to understand what we're trying to get them to do, or we're trying to get across after the first read. So this is an effort that's already underway as the communications team is developing its content for the website, for the updated website, and for the communications that will go live with the new system. The next action that I want to talk about a little bit is more geared towards how information is delivered. The first one was about the presentation of information. This one's about the delivery of presentation, and we're starting that transition from mailing information to online delivery. This is something that obviously the financial services industry has been moving towards for years, paperless and going green and all of that. This is not trailblazing stuff. This is a movement that we are joining in. So going green, and we also think that going green is something that our members are familiar with and care about and are interested in. So we anticipate that they'll be on board with this as well. As a side note, the benefit to TRS of going green is that we will be able to realize down the road some savings in printing costs and postage costs along the way. The first tangible or the first visible step towards that move towards online delivery takes effect later this year with our annual benefit statement that we produce for all of our non-retired members, about 120,000 of them. In previous years, we've printed that and mailed it to members while also posting it online on the secure website so members can visit and download it. Starting this year in 2018, when we publish it, it will be available online only. So that will be the first step towards phasing out the mailing of account statements and things like that. The third action that we're taking that's already underway is kind of expanding our communication tools. And this is a broad range of bullet items that you can see on the list, but I'll walk you through them. The first thing is tutorial videos on specific website features. We're producing short little step-by-step videos about how to do various functions on the website. We have about 5 of them online now. That number is expected to double at least during the course of 2018, and then it will continue to grow beyond that. And the benefit there is that obviously someone who's using the website will have a resource right there that they can pause and stop and rerun if they want to help them with any problems that they're having using a particular function. We're also planning to expand one-on-one assistance in using those same member-specific features down in our walk-in center. As members come in to visit our walk-in center to file a form or do whatever they need to do, we anticipate being able to walk them through on a one-on-one basis how they could accomplish the same thing online. And to that end, we're planning to install kiosks in the walk-in center downstairs, almost like an airport terminal approach, where you walk in and you see the terminal and you can walk up and do your business there if you want to, and there's a rep standing by.
That's a great model for service.
There are aspects that are great and there are aspects that are not so great. But the idea is to have that resource available. If somebody comes in to file a paper form, that we'll obviously let them file the paper form, but we'll also show them how actually the online version of this is just as easy, and here's how we can do it. And 1, 2, 3, this is how it can work. Social media is obviously part of the communication strategy. We have the Facebook page now. We have our videos up on YouTube, and social media we will continue to expand in the years going forward. We're also looking to expand the communications tools that are available for members to communicate with us. We're considering opening up email or secure chat as options to take in member inquiries. And we're also interested in expanding surveying of our members to get specific product-specific feedback on the various features and services that we have, and that when we can roll that into accomplishing those things better in the future. So all of these different things, it's a diverse kind of list of tools that we're trying to expand. But really, what the goal is we're trying to meet the members where they are. Those who are early adapters to going online, or those who need a little bit of coaxing. We want to be able to help everybody along, make sure that we are meeting their needs, their informational needs, and helping them move with us to that self-service model that we're trying to achieve in the future state. And with that, I'll hand it back to Robert.
Thank you, Matt. Wow. So you can see we have a lot of work to do. And the good news is members are already adopting self-service. In 2017, 80% of our beneficiary designations were filed online. 95% of loan applications were filed online, and 96% of TDA enrollments were filed online. So we are on our way. So to wrap things up, at the end of our modernization project, members will have the tools for self-service. That's a goal. And our website will be the major source of information and interaction with our members in the future. But as that continues, our communication strategy will continue to evolve with, of course, our members' needs at the forefront. So thank you, and I'll open if anyone has any questions.
Any questions for Robert or Matt?
I have a question. Well, it's a nebulous question for the table. Does anyone know how many members we have who are over the age of 80?
Over the age of
We do.
18.
It's about 15.
We just got that update last week. That's more than 2.
Yes. Are you concerned about the 80-year-olds?
I'm just going with, I understand that there's wonderful opportunities for people much younger than I am who know how these things work.
Yeah.
My mom's 76, and she uses a computer. I'm not sure that she knows what she's doing on the computer. And I feel like I'd like to hear a little more about what the sort of transition period between when all of us who grew up without computers and lose our ability to use them at some point is, because obviously this is very much directed at kind of current non-retirees and sophisticated retirees like Mel.
Well, I mean,
I'm wondering
Yeah.
what are
no, I mean, we understand that we're a retirement system, so there is a population of people who interact with us who are elderly. And we're always going to accommodate the needs of the member. But more and more, as, you know, like even myself, I mean, when I started in the workforce, computers were not something that everybody had at home. But today, I'm very comfortable with a computer. Most people in the workforce are comfortable with a computer. So if you're like 50 and below, we really, feel that, you're really very comfortable with computers. If people are having problems with looking at things online or being able to download their documents, and they contact us, then we're going to accommodate their requests for the paper form or the paper statement.
Is that something
But we're driving
is
them.
that something that folks are going to have to opt into or opt out of?
It's request.
Well, it is our goal to. I mean, it isn't something we have to think about it, but it is our goal to have the default be paperless,
Yeah.
and for you to contact us if you prefer to have the paper form. Today we have it in the reverse,
Right.
where we will give you the paper form unless you agree to take
Right.
the computer form.
Right.
So we'll transition it slowly for our older members.
Yeah.
But I think when we talk about it, it's like if you became a teacher in 2018, you're not getting paper from us.
Sure.
So that's
But
the
if
way
you
we'll move
became a
forward.
teacher
Makes sense to me. I'm worried about the
Right.
teachers who became teachers in 1960.
Right.
Yeah. That's-
So it really depends. We'll have a cutoff year where we'll say at this point we believe people should be computer literate and be able to do it. Anything above that year or later than.
No, I see where we're going. I just want to make sure that as we go there, we're making
It's all
sure
member-centric and very
yeah,
sensitive
that
to our
yeah,
retirees.
See,
happy.
I want to do another one.
Because we run into this a lot at the board, where not everyone has access to a computer. Not all
Right.
families even
Yeah.
necessarily have access to a computer, and we don't want people using public computers.
I think those new
Insecurely.
kiosks on the street,
That's right.
the kiosks on the street, they would be great.
I'm just thinking about, I'm in an assisted living facility. I'm 92 years old. I've been retired for 35 years. What does my solution look like? And is there going to be sufficient, robust support of me continuing for the next 20 years of my life to do it? That's all. It's on my mind.
Maybe your son or nephew or grandson could help you out with that.
I know, but then we're gonna. But then Andrew's gonna be like, "Don't be giving out your password to people because then it's insecure, even if it is your son." we're now not following our policy. I'm just sort of. I'm just wondering.
No, we work
Definitely
with
accommodate.
we work with a lot of retirees, and occasionally that question comes up, and we will always say that they can always call TRS or call the union, and we'll give them a paper copy or help them in any way, and that'll always continue
Right.
for it. Yeah.
Up until the cutoff date.
Well, maybe that'll be 20 years down the road.
Well, I'm just saying. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty clearly 20 years down the road, if not longer, right? I mean, people are living longer. Not me, but
Yeah, we're not over the
people with healthy
100.
lifestyles are living longer.
Yeah.
There also are rules on electronic communications relating to financial transactions, so we'd obviously have to comply.
That effect that apply to TRS?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Great, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, questions or comments from the public?
Mel?
Okay. So, I believe that concludes the public agenda. We do have an item for executive session. So, a motion to enter executive session would be in order.
I move pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 105, to go into executive session for discussions regarding specific investment matters.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to enter executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Okay. Public session.
Susan, Joe.
All right, we are back in public session. Susan, would you please make a report out of executive session?
Certainly. In executive session, a change to the manager lineup within variable A was discussed. Consensus was reached, which will be announced at the appropriate time. Also, a developing issue with respect to the custodian was discussed.
Thank you very much. I believe that concludes our business for today. A motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ooh, second and a third.
They really want to get out.
Adjourning this meeting. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? The motion carries. The meeting is adjourned.